we are the Real Bravado Network. My name is Tavares J. Moore, and this is I Got Something to Say. All right, please take a few minutes and click subscribe, click the thumbs up or thumbs down, and provide a comment. Those are the ways that you can help support the network. We're not asking for no money, but just a little bit of engagement will go a long way for us as well. I got something to say. 3 topics, 15 minutes or less, okay? All right, we're just going to jump right into it. Topic number 1. All right. I believe the most overly used word right now is toxic. The word toxic. It seems everything and everyone we don't like. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I forgot to start the clock timer. So it seems like everything and everyone we don't like or we disagree with is labeled toxic. When you ask a woman or a man, why didn't things work out with the man that you decided or woman you decided to have children with? The most common response you get back is she was toxic. But yet you still decided to have a child or children with a man or a woman that you deemed toxic. So they weren't toxic when you were laying down with them. They're just now toxic now that you got another human being and now you guys got to cope and then stay in each other's lives essentially for the remainder of your lives. So what does it really mean to be toxic? I'm going to list some toxic traits of a toxic person, okay? So when I looked up the definition of it, it says a toxic person is a person who is unsupportive and has unpleasant behaviors. Newsflash. Being unsupportive, being unpleasant doesn't necessarily make you toxic. Having a disagreement or unable to get along doesn't make you toxic. Even being judgmental to a degree does not mean you are toxic. Toxic is the new buzzword, in my opinion. It gives someone a weapon to just simply be dismissive or to end a conversation when they ran out of words or ideas or thoughts to engage with somebody. So it's a conversation stopper. It's an unaccountable statement. You are being toxic. Okay. What I'm going to do now? What am I going to do with that now? Now, here's some traits of actual toxic behavior. And these traits, I'm going to list 5 traits. And these traits or behaviors are only toxic in an extreme version of it, okay? I'm so sick of this. Everybody talking about everything's toxic. All right, number 1. Toxic people can be manipulative. Now, actual toxic people, their methodology is to get people to do what they want. They're very self-centered. Remember, we're talking about these things in an extreme version of things, okay? They tend to try to use people for their own tactics and them to aid them in their own goals and outcomes. Number 2, even though I just said being judgmental necessarily doesn't mean that you're toxic, because if you go to church, being judgmental is part of the whole church thing, okay? It really is. Same version of it. These people don't hold themselves accountable. They tend to be extremely judgmental towards other people, almost to in an irrational state. They often criticize you in front of other people. They're belittling you in front of people. Hell, you don't even got to be in front of anybody. They are proudly highlighting your flaws and the things that you've done wrong. Number 3, they don't apologize for nothing. They are unwavering in their beliefs, even with video DNA evidence. They won't admit fault or that a mistake was made by them. Sometimes they'll go as far as claiming to be a victim. Number 4, and number 4 kind of goes in conjunction with the word toxic, which is they are narcissistic. And narcissism is an actual clinical diagnosis. So I kind of hate when people start, oh, they're narcissistic. Well, have they been diagnosed with that? It's a clinical diagnosis. You just can't throw things out. I say this to all the time with people. Words mean stuff. So be careful what you say, because words actually have meaning to them. 4, they can be aggressive individuals. They can be like superficially charming, but they're not. It's very superficial. They have an overinflated sense of entitlement, which can lead to a remarkable level of selfishness. They tend to try to go out of their way to assert their dominance over people. You actually see this a lot in law enforcement. They want what they want because they believe they're entitled to do it. And so a lot of people see them over-escalate things. That is actually toxic. Number 5, they often can be inconsistent. They often change their perspectives, their attitudes, their behaviors, whatever it is, to fit their own narrative. Okay? Remember, these 5 things are not toxic amongst themselves, but in an extreme version of it. So let's be careful when we label people toxic. I've got something to say. Next topic. Fear. And it also can be life-saving. But more often than not, fear is actually more crippling than, I believe, than life-saving. Now, Black people, we operate in fear the most. The most fearful of our group, I don't know. I was just about to say the most fearful of our group are Black men, but I don't know. Black women are pretty fearful too. So let's examine both of them. Black women have no idea what Black men want from them. They have no idea what we prefer. Even though they've been told for 50 years, they have no idea what we want, what we prefer, because our women have not been made to be held accountable to the standard of what a productive character Black man want. She has never had to been held accountable to that. Have no idea. And that's because the vast majority of Black men do not tell their Black women in their family, their mothers, grandmothers, sisters, cousins, co-workers, church people, won't tell them what they want. And it's advocated for Black men not to say anything about what their own wants, desires, what they need out of their women. Oh, don't piss off mama. Oh, don't piss off grandma. Oh, you want your woman to be happy, don't piss off. So Black men don't do it out of fear. Fear that she won't stay in your space. Fear that she won't give you the boom bop at night. Fear. You won't be honest with her out of fear. So our women have no earthly idea. And when they actually hear somebody like God rest his soul, Kevin Samuels, or not in his league, or TJ, or any other Black men, your barber, your bus driver, your Pepsi or Coke delivery dude, your mailman, whatever your average metal, the teacher, your community activist Black man, when they tell you, we don't like X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. We prefer blah, blah. And our Black women go, well, Go find you somebody who will be like that. Because our Black women have never been held to account for having to be a certain way behaviorally or physically for their Black men. Because they got a whole line of people, a whole lot of men lining up to knock them down. And our women don't even understand male nature. We will drill you, but that doesn't necessarily mean we will actually take you in and cover you, meaning make you a wife. But we will line up to knock you down, though. And our women believe that they don't know the difference between to distinguish between male attention that just want to knock you down and male attention who actually wants to keep you. Well, our women have no idea the difference between the two types of attention. It's just attention. They have no idea that there's a big difference between what we prefer and what we will accept. You give a man and you don't feed him for 3 weeks and you starve him and you give him a bowl of cold dog food, he'll eat that cold dog food. That doesn't mean that that's what he prefers. That doesn't mean he likes dog food anymore. And I'm like screaming and yelling. Okay. Our Black women operate out of fear when it comes to submission. Submission is like a dirty word to our Black women. It's like a cuss word. It's like you cussing them out and calling them out of their name. And when you start to dig down into the exact reason why they can't or won't be submissive, it's what's usually at the core of that is usually her failed experience with the guy that she actually liked. And one day we're going to talk about that too, that Black women don't know how to pick. I submitted to Pooh, Ray, Lil Earl, and all them that the third, and they took advantage of me. So when a productive Black man comes along and say, hey, when we get together, your money ain't your money no more. Your money belongs to the family. We will manage that together. We will do this. Our Black women just go berserk. Go absolutely berserk. I'm not doing that, but got the worst outcomes of any other group of women in this country out of fear, and won't submit to a productive, character-driven Black man either. Even though if you select a productive, character-driven Black man, the key word in there is character-driven. And guess what, ladies? Guess what? All relationships, even with a character productive driven Black man, all relationships are a risk. They all have the risk of going south. That does not mean you don't do it. Fear. Got 2 minutes here. I don't know if we got 2 minutes for the last one. The last one is, do our women, I'm going to give the last word to Chantel Simone and let her talk about it.
In the Black community, it seems as though Black women, we have some hatred towards Black men. It seems as though we don't like our men. I say that because any opportunity we have to bash or put down Black men, Black women storm at that opportunity to talk negatively about them, to talk about how they're not sugar honey iced tea, they're not stepping up to the plate, they're not providing, they're not protecting us. But statistics shows that only a small percentage of Black men aren't taking care of their kids. Only a small percentage of Black men are in jail. But we like to emphasize that percentage and put it on all Black men. So all Black men should suffer. We are always complaining about our men. Even when they don't do anything, we put such a high standard on our Black men. It's like they can never do anything to please us. If you feel the need to leave seeking validation, where's your ring sis? Comment.
All right, everybody. I was just looking at the countdown clock. I'm not going to put it back up on. I'm not going to put it back up on the screen, but it has about 45 seconds left. My name is Tavares J. Moore, and this was I Got Something to Say.